Proposition 4, roads, $11.4 million. Proposition 5, roads, $14 million. What is the League of Women Voters? It's a 150-year-old nonpartisan nonprofit organization. We advocate for issues, but not for candidates or politicians. What is this tax? This tax would start April 1st, 2022. What is on the ballot? 14 propositions have been proposed in 4 broad categories. Each must receive a majority of votes to be approved. Who's presenting? Dr. Mark Rennie from the Cheyenne City Council and Gunnar Mom from the Laramie County Commission. Welcome. I'm Rosalind Shalisky, Secretary of the Cheyenne League of Women Voters, and assisting is our Zoom master, Dr. Karen Meister-Emmerich, Vice President of the Cheyenne League. Along with our members, we thank you for your interest in the election for the Laramie County 1% specific purpose sales and use tax, also known as the 6 pennies tax. Let's start with Proposition 4, Gunnar, because that's all county roads. And when I read through this as a Cheyenne resident, I kind of recognized when the roads were closer to Cheyenne, but then when they got out more in the county, I must admit, I really wasn't exactly sure where they are. So would you take us through those $11.4 million worth of road projects?
Certainly. And I'll just begin by saying, I know that there is some confusion regarding the 5th penny and roads and the 6th penny and roads being on the ballot. In terms of the county's responsibilities, or the 5th penny in the county, we utilize 5th penny money for equipment, road upkeep, as well as the salaries associated with our public works department. And there's a little bit of money left over of that 5th penny annually, but it takes a while to build up. And unfortunately, we've seen roads in our community that, given the growth that we've seen, need addressed and need overhauled. And so you'll notice our first project is on East Jefferson, which is on the south side of Cheyenne. This one relates mainly to drainage issues and needs of neighborhoods to try and prevent flooding of homes, just due to the the shape of the road and increased development in the area and what that means as water comes down. Number 2 is for the expansion of Division and Wallach. And this is a project that really we decided to take on in an effort to help our partners in the city. The city plans to grow to the south around South Cheyenne, and there's some things on the books or in the works to develop south of current Orchard Valley. And this would allow for a good passageway to connect and make that road ready with water and sewer and everything underneath of it, and meet city standards as it sits today. So that's an effort to try and help and be proactive and look for the growth of Cheyenne and work with our partners in the city. $610,000, Road 164. This is a road that is colloquially known as State Line Road and runs north of Albin, right along the state line. And it was paved, I believe, 1950, 1962 or 3 with farm to table money, which was an old federal program that no longer really exists. But it was paved at that time. And unfortunately, over the years, due to increased traffic and decreasing budgets, the pavement has fallen into disrepair. So we looked at this road and we had meetings with residents out there about what they'd like to see. And of course, they'd like to still maintain a paved road, which is understandable. But when we looked at the amount of trips per day on the road, it accounted for about 250 trips per week. To give you a reference point, when a developer is making a new county development, if their development tips a county road over 350 trips per day, they are required to pave. So this current road does not see enough activity on it in a week to meet the standard that we would hold a developer to closer to town. So the decision was made to take it back to dirt. It would also be cheaper and easier for us to maintain on a regular basis, given our operators in the area. And so we're just trying to accommodate and make sure that it's safe and can be traveled by farm equipment, by residents, and really just do what we can given the volume of trips in the area. Next, you have an intersection, then you have $3.4 million for Road 142 and the railroad at 143. This is in between Cheyenne and Burns. And again, we've seen unprecedented growth to the eastern portion of our county, as well as oil and gas development that has really increased the burden on our paved roads. And as I mentioned in the beginning, there's just not the money available through the fuel tax, which is another source of road money, I should mention, aside from the fifth penny. But there's just not the amount of money available in a timely manner to get these projects done and to maintain safety. And so we decided that the sixth penny would be a good opportunity this time to take care of that. The next one, number 5, is East Allison Road. And this is, again, a road on the south side that needed some upgrades for public safety in terms of we have a lot of children in the area walking to school. You might notice that a lot of those roads are still dirt, even though they're in a more urban setting on the south side, but they are in fact in the county. And so this is just an effort to bring them up to speed and make them safer, as well as help with some of those drainage issues like the other south side road had.
Thank you, Gunnar. Mark, $14 million for city roads. And I don't even know where to start. I bet you don't either. I bet you have a plan. Do you have a plan?
Well, Gunnar kind of alluded to this in talking about Proposition 4, and I struggled with this initially because we have 80% of our fifth penny monies goes to streets. And we have in the past, until a little bit this last sixth penny, we have always used the sixth penny for special projects. And you can look at some of the things that the county's done between the jail and the library. The city's done the Botanic Gardens, rehab the swimming pool, bought parklands with it. And so it's always, we've used the sixth penny for either things we need or enhancements. And we've not used the sixth penny for roads in the past. So I had a little bit of hesitation when this was first proposed. But, that's something that as a municipality we hear about all the time, is the issue with the condition of the streets and the roads and the potholes. And Cheyenne's weather is not conducive to maintaining good streets. I mean, we have, even in the wintertime, we have warm days and frozen nights, and that causes a lot of freezing, thawing, which causes issues with our streets. And what we have found that even with 80% of the fifth penny monies going to that, we are not keeping up, and we keep getting farther and farther behind on street maintenance and street upgrades. So the mayor has talked to our city engineer, and it was determined that we, in order to get things up to where they need to be and to where we can maintain them with fifth penny monies in the future, we need an infusion of about $14 million to get everything caught up and get it to where the residents would like it to be. So, as I said, when this was first proposed, I was a little hesitant. The mayor's assured me that this should be a one-time expense for streets and roads out of the sixth penny, and in the future we can return back to more special projects. So, but that's the determined amount that our engineers have come up with in order to get everything up to where we would like them to be, and that we can then maintain them in the future.
Mark, I noticed that on the ballot it says maintenance. So is this existing roads rather than building new?
Yes, it's just to upgrade, grind, mill, overlay our existing streets and get them to where we can then afford to maintain them, and we're not falling behind the curve every year.
Exactly. League members, do you have any questions?
Well, just a brief one. So Mark, anyone on Facebook can see pictures of huge potholes and their progression and growth. And I think there was even somebody at one point who was actually soliciting photos. So would it be fair to say people in Cheyenne, this will take care of the potholes?
That's the plan. That's,
Well, I wasn't
but
going
no,
to.
you know, Marguerite, you are never going to take care of potholes because of our weather. But
Right,
it
of
at least helps us. I mean, there are some streets we're never going to get caught up on unless we do have an infusion of money. So that's
it's a matter
the
of
purpose
catching
of
up.
this. But because of where we live, we are always going to have to deal with potholes. And we have over 350 miles of streets in the city of Cheyenne. So
The county has 1,200 miles of roads. I just want to.
roads, gravel roads, streets.
Yeah. Mark, I want to give a shout out to the city because I went on the website this spring because on my side street, I noticed a pothole starting. And then when I looked, there were even more. So I just mentioned it. And I'll tell you, within about a week or two, there was a crew that came by and fixed them. And I mean, this is before they got enormous. And
Right.
and I got an email.
Although I had one in my neighborhood that I had one in my neighborhood, Roz, that I thought we could have stocked fish in for a little while.
Apparently, you don't know who to talk to.
Yeah, apparently not.
Should have had RA call.
Yeah.
I drove up Hilltop one day and somebody had decorated a pothole with pinwheels. It was kind of cool. But no, I mean, we all know, and to be honest, our crews are really good. If you get a hold of Vicki Nemechek, the Public Works Director, she usually gets somebody out there right away, and our crews are really good about dealing with those. But we've all know of streets that it's just one pothole patch after another, and they're still rough. And so, and you know, they deteriorate as you drive over them. They're hard on your vehicles. And so the idea of this is to try and get everything up to fixed up to where we can then maintain it. Because as it is, we are not keeping up.
I agree. Thank you. And thank you, Mark and Gunnar, on behalf of the Cheyenne League of Women Voters, for providing valuable information. And finally, to our Laramie County voters, remember, your voice or your vote is your voice. Use it. When is the election? It's Tuesday, November 2nd. When is early voting? It's already started, and it will continue through November 1st at the Laramie County Governmental Complex. How to vote by absentee ballot? You can request a ballot from the county clerk, but you better do it quickly because it takes 7 to 10 days for your ballot to arrive and another 7 to 10 days for it to be received by mail in the clerk's office. But you can also drop that absentee ballot at the county clerk's office or in the drop box on Cary Avenue. And is an ID required? It is now. Wyoming law now requires an ID before voting in person on election day or during early voting. And here are the IDs that will be accepted. Your vote is your voice. Use it.